Truly delighted to have your company here on Richard Mwenja Exclusive. Welcome to the conversation from whatever part of the globe you're watching us from. My name is Richard Mwenja, and today we continue taking a deep dive on subjects that continue to shape Kenya's political and governance arena. And who better to help me bring such conversations home than former Minister Kipruto Arab Kirwa. How are you doing today, sir?
Quite okay, it's my pleasure.
Just a few hours before the upcoming NANE protests from the Gen Z, they're demanding higher accountability from the government. But let me ask you, we are seeing these protests coming to play at a time whereby the government has said these are joke taken too far. These protests have now been exaggerated. They've been hijacked by private interests, and the president says, do not dare me, I will put it to a stop. What do you make of this hard stance from the government with regards to the upcoming NANE protests?
Well, it's a bit confusing. Confusing in the sense that we've chosen to be a good student in class, and when the examination paper is brought to you, you answer the wrong questions. Or you set your own questions and you answer. The GNCs never talked about removal of the president per se. They were saying removal of Rutoism. Rutoism in the sense that they have associated Rutoism with plenty of lies, plenty of broken promises, lack of integrity, lack of transparency, lack of all issues appertaining to good governance. And they're also saying there is a bit of unfairness in society. There is also a bit of exclusion for members of society that come from humble background. And also exclusion in the sense that when jobs are given, it is the cronies of the leadership of the day that benefit from those jobs. So we are giving a political solution to a moral issue. Moral issue in the sense that they did not say if the president changes, they will still want to evict him out of town. So we're giving it different dimensions. And you can see the system is almost suspicious of themselves. Some are saying possibly the deputy president has a hand, something that I know may not be true. May not be true because Rigathi was a provincial administrator. He knows how information flows. If you are to do anything today in Kachiliba, tomorrow it will be known. Or this evening it will be known by NIS, who has done something in Kachiliba. So he could not have gotten involved to that level. I really give him a bit of credit, and in terms of knowing the system. It's not like me, who has never been in any administration as an officer that needs to swear to keep government secrets except at the level of the minister or assistant minister. Those are the things I swore to serve under. So some things are figment of imagination of some of the cronies around the president. They seem to have turned the presidency into something that is laughable. Now, I would expect the president to spend more time raising the answers to the issues that GNCs raised at the beginning of time. And that's why I've been saying I don't even want to rush for what we call national convention. Let the president get the catalog of issues that have been raised by young Kenyans, and in those issues raised, you can see the quick wins. For example, if tomorrow we are recruiting policemen and women, let it be fair so that every sub-location or every sub-county gets the people who deserve to get to these positions, not through selling of some of the invitation letters. Whether it's the military, let the people who are fit to go to the military be given, not by somebody selling a cow, selling a piece of shamba to buy a job for a brother or a sister or a relative or a son.
A fair society, meritocracy and all.
Yeah, fair society. If he does that for the next 1.5 years, he'll almost be guaranteed he will win the next election. But he's fighting in the wrong way. You cannot ignore, and you call them, what was the name?
Faceless anarchists, perhaps?
The anarchists. You know, anarchy is in the existence of the mind of those who are calling these young people anarchists. You know, state of anarchy is somebody who does not follow procedure. And they themselves in government are anarchists because they don't want to do things the way Kenyans expect them to do. Even in bad government, the way people say President Moi's government was bad. At least there was order. There was respect of procedure. There was respect of the law. There was respect of society. President Moi, whatever people call him, he respected the people.
So this government is a big anarchist than the regime of Moi?
In fact, there's no democracy today.
Why are you saying so?
The democracy has been sold between Raila.
You have the opposition.
Which opposition? The one of Raila. Raila is no longer in opposition, he's in government, except himself.
This broad-based government is an opposition that has been bought?
Well, has gotten to bed or has partaken on stolen goods. It's like I steal your cow, slaughter it in my compound. Then I invite you at 11:30 and you partake on it knowing that this is a stolen cow from your farm without reporting to the police. If the police had been told of a stolen cow and people are eating in the neighborhood, you'll also be equally arrested because you are partaking in stolen property.
So do you believe this the democracy being compromised is what is fanning the anger and the rage within the Gen Z to go for the NANE protest?
Yeah,
seeing Raila Odinga and his camp going to bed with the government?
You know, in normal politics, what is sold by politicians is hope. That next Christmas is better than last year's. But when they realize next Christmas is not there, and the Christmas on 2027 is not there, or 2026 is not there, people give up hope. And that's why Gen Z was created, but the rapprochement between the opposition and the government of the day. And what was the genesis? It was started by emasculation of political parties by the president when he took over power. Buying Jubilee, buying UDM, buying independence, and all the people would have said something is amiss in this government. Because those people would wait that because the opposition has talked about it, that there is something amiss, they may have an answer.
You're actually talking about hope, and I understand that promises lay the foundation for renewed hope. And President Ruto has been so big on making promises. Don't you think he's performing exceptionally well when it comes to selling new hope to the people by making more promises, bigger promises?
But the foundation is lacking. You see, hope is sold when there is trust. But nobody still trusts the president today. Even if he was to tell you, I will bring down this house tomorrow and build another one in 3 months, you will not believe the story. You might bring down the house and run away for the next 3 months, possibly fly out of the country. So please, hope must be based on something solid. And there is no trust in this government anymore. Part of the problem is that people don't trust the promises given by the president. And they were able to do a catalog of them. And they said it's about 1,000 promises that he made, and he has failed us.
So you are a celebrated policy analyst by extension. So do you then suggest that the president needs to accompany his promises with a solid and clear action plan?
Yeah, it should be. It should be something, because the way I know it is that if you are able to demonstrate to us that I promised 10 things, but I'm able to do 3 for now, and I will inform you how to deal with the other 7. And people see clearly that you've done the 3, people will believe your story. And in fact, I've been telling the president, it is important for you to relook at all the promises in your manifesto first, and any other clips that you made in public domain, either on top of a rooftop of a car, or when you are campaigning and when you are president, and put them together and do some kind of matrix to show us these have been achieved, these ones are yet to be done, and these are the reasons why we've not been able to do it. For example, he promised having the price of animal feed so that we double productivity of milk and sell milk at a price that you don't have to make it so expensive as to make food security more sustainable. That is something that he said in his campaign, and it is in the manifesto. If he was to deal with that and you say, this is now my program on improving productivity in milk sector or dairy subsector, and demonstrate how most of the components we import are going to be produced locally, and how that has a ripple effect on the price of milk at the end of the year, and the benefit goes back to the farmer. everybody will be celebrating. If he was able to demonstrate to us that next year there is no fake fertilizer, because we've seen for the last 2 years that he's been the president, fake fertilizer has visited this town. Some of it, they call it soil conditioner, which I did not know. The last time I heard of soil something, it was liming of the soil. But you cannot produce fertilizer and you say this is supposed to be soil conditioner. The conditioner should be a precursor to usage of fertilizer. Yeah.
You're talking about the president not really being truthful.
Yeah.
And so do you consider him to be the biggest hawker of false hope this far? Especially with regards to promises about turning around the fortunes of the Gen Z and their grievances.
Well, he's not the biggest hawker. He's actually the biggest wholesaler of false hope.
Really?
He's the biggest wholesaler of false hope. Because he does not fear making a statement that is not truthful today or contradicting what he said yesterday. That worries me about the quality of leadership in Kenya.
Lastly, sir, we've seen what has happened in Bangladesh. The same situation is being replicated across many nations. People going to State House, people going to the parliaments of their jurisdiction to just call out their members of parliament or even their presidents. And some have even been sent out of office. We are seeing the NANE protest is fast approaching. And from your end, do you consider it to be the ultimate test of now this new broad-based government for Ruto, the NANE protest?
It's a big test. And it worries me because at the end of the day, we'll have created a system that is not comforting. You see, a whole prime minister being seen to be flown out of the country, not out of failing to win an election, but failing to sustain the confidence of the people is lovable and is worrying, it's saddening. But on a lighter note, Richard, I don't know why human beings, you saw the other day, they went to Bunge and they were eating food. The other day you saw in Bangladesh that also they entered, apart from partaking on the bed of the former prime minister, they were also eating chapatis. So I said, what is about food and leadership?
The correlation.
It seems there is some correlation that when you get into leadership, you need to go to the gym so that I reduce my size to your size to show that I'm not eating as much as I should. Yeah, that's what worries me.
That plenty is found within your body and not your stomach.
Yeah, because the stomach is really a traitor.
The stomach is a poor political advisor?
Yeah, it is because people will think that I'm doing better than you. And yet I know you're doing better than me.
Very lastly, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, a few days ago, the president came forth and say it is okay for the Gen Z to be faceless, leaderless, tribeless, but it's not okay for them to be mindless. Yes, he's making sense. But what do you make of the tone that comes with that? Yes, you can be all that less, but not mindless. Is that the right tone?
Well, first of all, it's an insult to the young people because I don't believe they are mindless. Also remember the revolutions that we've met throughout the history of mankind. Even the struggle for independence. Most of those people were in their 30s, early 30s, and even in their 20s. Even if you are to Google Dedan Kimathi, all these people, they did the struggle when they were in their teens, some of them in their teens and their 20s, and very few in their 30s. So they are not mindless. These are grown-up people, they are adults, they are dealing with technology that we have no capacity to pursue. You remember in the past, it should be clandestine, but today, there is a lot of platform that they can share, and they conspire without the knowledge even of NIS. So they are not mindless. At the same time, it behoves the character of the president to be of good attitude, even if he's provoked. Because who are you fighting? Your own people? Who are you killing? Your own people? Who are you demeaning? The people who voted for you? These are some of the questions the president needs to understand, that these people are people who admired him. For your information, and I don't like using the word for your information because I'm assuming that you have no information. For the information of many people, many people who are bitter with the president are those who voted for him. And they believed his story, only to realize that the story was just false from the beginning. In fact, to do a profile, many people who are opposed to this regime are the people who supported this regime to the hilt. Look at even Mount Kenya region. These are people, 47% of them voted for the current regime. And today, they are annoyed as I am. In fact, I'm less annoyed because I saw it and I ran away.
You're now vindicated.
I'm vindicated. The issue of Rigathi, I've been vindicated. The issue of saying William is a dictator in town, I've been vindicated. And I told the media the other day, you are next, because he started parliament, judiciary, and then he confused even civil servants today, public servants. And anybody can challenge me. Public servants are not happy with the regime. It's only that they cannot say it. Because from manifesto they are telling them to implement. It should have been public policy, so that people are implementing public policy, which has been tempered to allow normal implementation by public servants. Yeah.
Very well. There you have it. That is the point that we wish to bring this conversation to a wrap from. We've really enjoyed your company. Time now for this insightful segment. Really full of nuggets of wisdom, full of information about the history that you might have missed out on. That is Heroes Corner with Kipruto Arab Kirwa. Today, sir, who is our hero of the day? The other day we had Lina Jabi Kilimo, Sally Kosgei, and a raft of many others. Who graces our show today?
Well, I think should be this girl from West Pokot.
Who is
Tekla Lorupe. Lorupe, yeah.
Tekla Lorupe.
Yes. This is a girl, a very good athlete, and has done a lot for herself and for the world, and for this country. And as I told you earlier, anytime the national anthem is played, I just find my tears rolling down.
Why?
Because that is a moment of heroism that makes me feel these are the patriots who do a lot, but they are never celebrated at home.
Tekla is that patriot?
She is a patriot. She's done a lot in terms of going back to the community, giving back to the community, and ensuring that the children are arrested from getting into cattle rustling, but now they move to ways of living the current life that every Kenyan enjoys.
Wow.
She's also been an advocate for anti-FGM because she believes that every person must have full rights and a choice to make about what they want their future to be. This is a lady who has done so much in our county, in our country, and also for the rest of the world. This is a young girl that I admire a lot. Anytime I go to her place here in Westlands.
Oh, she's still in town?
She's still in town, and she has a restaurant.
Good.
Yeah, and when you go there, you get sumptuous meal. Just across from, what do you call this place? Junction. On the other side.
Kwa bili ya minister.
Yeah, tutaenda na wewe. And I will introduce you appropriately. So that you also bring her to this show.
I will.
Yeah, to come and enjoy the show.
It would be such an honor.
And tell us a lot about what happens in our own county, West Pokot.
Very well.
Yeah, she's a peacemaker.
Thank you so much. We say asante sana Tekla Lorupe for really being the hero that this country needs to celebrate even more and even more big and louder. Thanks so much, Mheshimiwa. Time is running out. I have to bid you bye. Let's meet on the next edition of Richard Mwenja Exclusive. Enjoy your day.